What is the Howey Test? But first, everything in this video is for educational purposes only, and nothing should be construed as legal or financial advice. Established in 1946 by the United States Supreme Court in SEC v. W.J. Howey Co., the Howey Test has been used to determine whether a transaction is an investment contract and therefore a security subject to the federal security laws under the Securities Act of 1933 and the Securities Exchange Act of 1934. Today, the Howey Test is also applied to digital assets to determine whether a digital asset is an investment contract and regulated by the SEC. The Howey Test provides that an investment contract means a contract, transaction, or scheme whereby a person invests his money in a common enterprise and is led to expect profits solely from the efforts of the promoter or third party. Put simply, an investment contract exists if there's an investment of money in a common enterprise with an expectation of profits derived from the efforts of others. In order for a transaction to be determined an investment contract and therefore a security, all four elements of the Howey Test must be met. 1. An investment of money. 2. In a common enterprise. 3. With an expectation of profits. And 4. The profits are to be derived from the efforts of others. Let's look at each of these. First, there must be an investment of money. This element is straightforward and usually is easily met. If money is exchanged, whether it's $1, $100,000, you name the amount, this element of the Howey Test will be met. Second, the money must be invested in a common enterprise. In other words, the investment is made in a company, an asset, or a concept with a mission or directed goal. Third, the investment is made with an expectation to make profit on that investment. This means the intention for investing must be to make profits rather than to support a cause, a purpose, or a mission. Fourth, the expectation of profits is derived from the efforts of others. This means that the profits expected from the investment are made by the agents of the company or another individual rather than the efforts of the investor. So how does the Howey Test apply to digital assets? First, is there an investment of money? Fiat, whether USD, a euro, British pound, etc., are used to purchase digital assets. Therefore, the first element of the Howey Test will be met. Second, is there a common enterprise? When purchasing digital assets, an investor purchases a token or an asset, or alternatively is in a company with a concept, mission, or directed goal, such as instant feeless international transfers to combat slow money wires or swift transactions in traditional banking institutions. Third, is there an expectation of profits? Typically, this element will be met because individuals are buying digital assets with the hopes that the token or coin will increase in value or moon, or at least they'll get some gains on their investment. Fourth, is the investor's expectation of profits derived by the efforts of others. This element is the most difficult to meet with respect to digital assets. With decentralization being such an important aspect of cryptocurrency and blockchain technology, the profits expected on a digital asset are not as easily attributable as they are for traditional assets like stocks. For example, in Howey, the investment contract that the United States Supreme Court ultimately found to be an investment contract and a security was an investment in an orange orchard. The investors would provide money to Howey, who in exchange would provide the investor with a portion of the profits of the company's orange harvest. The investors did nothing besides write a check and wait to be paid their gains. The effort for the expected return on the investor's investment was solely derived by Howey and its workers who planted, harvested, sold, and distributed the oranges for profits. With digital assets, the expected profit is not as easily attributable. When projects are decentralized or provide for governance amongst all token holders who can vote on a project's decisions and the direction to take a project so long as they own the token, this makes the element of the Howey Test harder to prove. If a digital asset is not decentralized or is being run more like a traditional company from a management or decision-making perspective, it is easier to find that the expected profits of a certain digital asset are to be derived from the efforts of others. For example, when investors of a digital asset depend on the company or the digital asset's backer to develop and maintain the digital network or support the digital asset's price through things such as token burns, these circumstances can lead to the expectation of profits being derived from the efforts of other elements, and thus can make these digital assets more applicable to being an investment contract, that's a security, and thus falling under the regulation of the SEC. Whereas if the success of a cryptocurrency or other digital asset is based on the utility of the digital asset, for example, Ethereum, where companies are building dApps on the blockchain, and the value of Ethereum is for the utility of the actual network and its ease for different dApps or companies to begin on that blockchain, that independently and not based off just the efforts of individual people will make that project more valuable. And that makes it much more difficult to say that the profits from Ethereum or similar types of digital assets are derived solely from the efforts of particular individuals. In sum, the application of the Howey Test to digital assets is not clear-cut and will have to be analyzed on a case-by-case basis, analyzing many aspects of each digital asset individually. Did you learn something from this video? If it has helped you understand the Howey Test and how it relates to digital assets, please leave a comment, like, subscribe, and let me know if there's any other topics you want to hear about. Thanks so much. Cheers.